Yo, hello, we're live. Hey guys, and welcome. We are back with the Between Trials podcast, episode 3. This podcast, we're going to be discussing a lot of the new content in the new PTB. PTB 3.6 is out right now, and everyone's playtesting it, and we've all played it a bunch. And in this podcast, I have three new guests with me today. I'm really fucking excited for this. We got awesome people today. Joining me today, we have Otzdarva, who is a very good friend of mine, big YouTuber, very awesome dude. Say hello, Otz.
Hi, it's good to be here again.
Hell yeah, man. We got Ralph, who is actually #1 on the DBD leaderboard for Hatchet's Throne, which is kind of funny. I really wanted to get you on for this podcast because we're talking about Deathslinger. I actually checked the numbers, and you literally had like 300,000, and the next person had like 200,000. Like you have thrown many fucking hatchets in Dead by Daylight. It is ridiculous.
Whenever you're a psychopath, that's what happens.
I guess so, dude. But I'm really happy to have you on for this particular topic. And
happy to be here, man.
Hell yeah, dude. And also ANGRYPUG. I'm so pumped to have Pug here. Pug is like one of the OGs of DBD. He's been around forever since the game released, and he has a bunch of hours, been playing this game a long time. One of the most experienced players in the game, and also just one of my favorite streamers, honestly. So really good to have you here, man. Thank you for being here. And I think we're just gonna hop right into the topic of
that stare is scaring me a bit. Are you all right, Pug?
wait, did we lose him?
No, I think he's just standing still.
No,
we might have lost him, but he's still here.
I think
I don't know, man. I'm scared.
I think he lost himself.
All right, we're good. All right, we're gonna hop right into the first topic of Deathslinger. There's a new killer called Deathslinger. If you guys haven't seen the PTB, he's literally got a gun. All right, just to open this, it's literally a killer with a gun in DBD, which is crazy. This is something that we've been wanting for something that's been talked about for a very long time. But just to briefly explain how this killer works, essentially, it's a 4.4 killer with a gun, so he moves the speed of like Huntress or Hag. He's like a slower killer. He has a gun, and if you shoot someone with that gun, it shoots like a harpoon up to 18 meters, and if you hit somebody, you can reel them back to you, kind of like Roadhog in Overwatch, or I don't know, like Scorpion, or like Blitzcrank. I don't know, name your game. Like almost every game has someone like this. You can pull them back to you and then hit them. And they can also break free from the train, from the chain and go into deep wounds. And it's really, I don't know, he's really spicy. He's a really spicy killer. He has a one-shot reload. And I'm really curious to know your guys' like general thoughts. Like, generally speaking, how is this killer and how does he fit into the game?
Who wants to go first?
Anyone.
I mean, I've only played against him, so I'll let one of the two killer guys go.
Thoughts?
I think everyone noticed it. Like in terms of fun, he's like a 10 out of 10. He's really, really fun to play as in general. And it seems like he's fun as well to play against. And I also think that it's very remarkable that for a first PTB, like this is the very first version we get of him, right? It's not like they've been polishing him for ages. For a first PTB, it's really, really good. We've had other killers on PTB like Ghostface. I don't know if you guys remember. I know you guys have been playing for a long time. Did any of you play PTB on the first release?
Of Ghostface? It was so bad. It was so bad.
It was terrible. And then, hey, one PTB later, they made him somewhat playable. They fixed so many things. So with a killer that is already not super broken either way, I think that if they really don't settle for like something mediocre and they really try to correct everything that's like a little bit off with him, it could be really, really fun on release. That's my first opinion. You
know, actually, I think that's an interesting. Instead of me just saying general thoughts, how about that? How about you tell me, is the killer fun? Like, did you guys have fun playing as him?
I mean, like I could be super duper nitpicky and sit here and like give you my fantasy version of that killer, but like it's not the most realistic, so it's whatever. But I think he's fun. I don't know. I don't think he has as much like high risk, high reward as somebody like Huntress. Sure, you can shoot through some small holes, whatever the hell, but realistically, like majority of those shots you don't even want to go for because you don't get any value from it. And I don't want to call him linear. I think he has some depth, but I don't think he's super duper deep gameplay wise. I don't think he's that. Yeah, not like In comparison to Huntress, no, for sure. Like I don't think he's as close.
Is there anything else in the game that's close to Huntress, in your opinion? Because that might be a good starting point.
I mean, like as far as like skill ceiling wise, like Billy, Nurse, like they're up there too.
And you don't think he's with them, really?
I don't think he's that high, no.
Have you seen some of the shots that I was like showing that you can do?
I mean, I don't remember, but there's like some shots I was doing myself. Like you can hit them on like the opposite side of shack window through a really small hole, and if you hit them, you can still walk out and grab them and get the hit and stuff like that.
Yeah,
like, there's definitely interesting shots, but you can hit that same shot with a hatchet with a Huntress.
Yeah,
like, that's the thing.
There's definitely shots that you can't hit with hatchets though. Like
for
instance,
sure.
Like in the like farm path palace, there's like the cart that has like these little like slits. You can like literally shoot between the slits and then get a hit on like path pallet loops. Like it's pretty. There's actually some pretty crazy shit that you can do.
There is, but there's. I still think like with majority of a lot of those shots, they're not even that realistic, and not worth it.
I think one of the things that is good to point out is that when you're trying a killer for the first time, you're always going to have fun when you are trying it out. But in a real game, when the killer's been out for like a month, everyone's going to know the main counterweight.
Yep.
Everyone's still going to be playing with the same 4 strong perks. And when it's pushed to the limit and you begin to see people, break the chain in different ways, body blocking, when you really, really test the killer, all that fun factor is going to evaporate if the killer's not strong enough. That's the thing. Like Legion could be super fun, but then you play Legion a few times and see how long it takes to recover, and you immediately want to stop playing him.
When any new killers comes out, they're always like flavor of the week.
Exactly.
And everybody's always like super duper just happy about them.
You know, I now I'm kind of interested because I've noticed that whenever I have played killer as this guy, especially after like getting a lot of practice and especially playing survivor against him, when I like would run into one that's good, like there's a big difference between running into like a bad Deathslinger and a good Deathslinger, right? It's like the same thing as like every other killer. Like playing against a bad Huntress and playing against Ralph is way different. You know what I mean? So when I found that if I played against a Deathslinger that actually was able to hit his shots, it was, I'm really, Pug, I'm actually really curious to hear your opinion on this because I'm sure you've had a lot of experience playing against Deathslinger. How do you feel? Like, is it fun, and do you feel like you have a fair chance against?
I mean, here's the thing with the public test build. I only did like a half a day stream on. I did like 5 hours, but I played nothing but against him. It was really enjoyable, like super enjoyable. And I could just tell that he was going to be really, really, really fun to play as. But I was going to kind of wait until he actually releases. But he seems, my biggest thing with him is that you have a lot of debate. People want to know how strong he is. So I get asked that question like nonstop going against him. He's going to be a top tier killer. He's going to be a top 3 killer. And I've been watching a bunch of other people stream. And my day 1 assessment was like, mid tier. But now I'm starting to question whether or not he's actually going to be better than Huntress, especially for people that have that like first person shooter or just shooter background like I have. I think I'll be able to jump in with this guy, not even being a killer main, and be pretty nasty with him. So you got that aim down sight, which is, really, really nice, where the Huntress doesn't. So I don't know. I think he's going to constantly draw comparisons to Huntress. And I even remember when Huntress came out, I thought she was really fun to go against, really fun to play. Personally, I think this is the best DLC killer to come out for both sides, or at least the most fun in at least a year, maybe 2 years.
I agree. Since Huntress, I think.
Yeah, for both sides, I could probably agree.
I'll give my thoughts on what I've found in this killer. I've been playing the PTB a fuck ton. Like I actually haven't even played live servers since the PTB came out. It's been like 4 days of me playing PTB. And I've been doing like a lot of labbing and like testing like what he can shoot through, like what he can shoot over. I've been like testing hitbox and really trying shit out. And honestly, it's feeling to me like okay, his projectile is really tiny. Like the hitbox is really tiny. The speed is really quick, right? Like you can juke it, right? Like if a survivor's actively juking, it could be hard to hit him. But like around loops, like if you really know how to like squeeze the hitbox like around like the loops at like the perfect angles, I'll put it this way. I've been going against good survivors. Like I'll do like kill your friends against people in my community that I know are good survivors, and nobody can take me on like a long chase ever. And like you can't even say that like I have like probably like 3,000 hours in Hillbilly. I'm not gonna try to like, you know, toot my own horn and say I'm some kind of a god hillbilly or something, but I feel like I'm at least a good hillbilly, right? And I feel like these survivors would take me on a very long chase as Billy. Like, I feel like with Gunslinger, Deathslinger, there's basically like nothing you can do. Essentially, if you know the hitboxes and you know the timing of like when to shoot them, pull them around the loop, it feels like you can pretty much end any chase really, really, really quickly, like super quickly.
I think I have one thing to say about that.
What's that?
It's like, okay, you go on a long chase, you go on a short chase, you go on a long chase, you go on a short chase. Now, there is a moment, and this happens every now and then, where survivors just magically line up and they make a big fuck up. Like a big fuck up. They make 2 misplays back to back. I feel that as a hunters, that's where you really have the edge.
Yeah.
That's where you really have the edge. God forbid you have 3 people it, or you know, in some, or in the bathroom in the game, or you know, in some place where they really mess up, you chew through them as Billy or as hunters, to a lesser degree as other killers. What does this killer do in a situation like that? Seems like he doesn't have the edge there. Even if you have very short chases, say you go Foreman, like it doesn't matter. Like you get the short chase, okay, 1 hit, you get the short chase, now another hit, now 10 seconds to pick him up, put him to the hook, 2 gens pop in the distance. Like that's the problem. If you're playing hunters, you know that those 2 gens pop, but that if they make a mistake later, you will snowball and capitalize on it. With this killer, it seems like he doesn't have that kind of snowball potential, which is what really makes a difference. But that's my assessment.
Yeah, no, I completely agree with you. Like, it's weird to me because I do feel like in a 1v1 like situation, I feel like if you're a survivor going against a good Deathslinger, you're fucked. Like, if he's actually able to hit his shots and he knows like the timings and like, you know, the hitboxes and stuff, I don't think you're gonna take him on a very long chase. But at the same time, he doesn't feel like OP, right? Like he's beatable. He's totally beatable. And when you play as him, you don't really feel like you're completely dominating every game. You feel like sometimes you play well and you still lose and you're just like, oh, well, okay. You know? So it's really interesting that that's how he works. Like he almost feels like he's like honestly, okay, everyone compares him to Huntress. Honestly, yeah. I would compare him to Nurse, if I'm being perfectly honest. I would say he's a weaker Nurse. I feel like the way that Nurse is, where like if you're really, really good, you're just going to catch the survivor no matter what. I feel like that's how Deathslinger is. If you're really good, you're going to catch the survivor, but you're just so slow at doing it. Like everything you do is so slow. You have so many like cooldowns with like reloading and stuff that like by the time you catch them and then you like set up to catch another person, it just takes so long, you know, that you don't actually get stuff done fast enough to win the match. So
yeah. I think I don't know. I really like him and Huntress really play like pretty similarly around like loops and stuff. They both like come around a corner. They're probably about to go into a pallet. You take a shot. You get them. Whatever the hell. It's just after Huntress gets her hit, she's depending on what you're using. You know, OhTofu, whatever the hell. She's already getting ready to get her second hit. He has to take the time, reel them in, and then that's just the first hit. And then I feel like after they throw down a pallet with him, you don't really have many options. Depending on the loop. At least with Huntress, like if you want to talk about like an average game, I can do some like a nonsensical mind game and actually like not even have to ever break a pallet in the entire game. But see, like pallets, I feel like hard body him.
I find that's really interesting. I feel like you should play him more, Ralph, honestly. I feel like there's not a lot of pallets I've had to kick as I played him more.
Depending on the loop for sure.
I was gonna say like everybody like pretty much by default is always saying like you could just throw the pallet on him, but keep in mind you have to mend. Like if he didn't have that mending ability, that's what the deal breaker is, because that slows down the game and then you're injured. So even if they get away or they do that each time, like let's say if you just tunnel them for whatever reason and they're just pallet, you're not gonna tunnel them. That's the thing. Or at least if you want to be successful, you're certainly not. He's the kind of guy that'll hit you once, and then you realistically should be looking for your next target if somebody's going to use that.
There is a problem with that I don't know how much I enjoy. You guys realize that when you harpoon someone successfully, you have this little charge bar, and if it fills up, it breaks, you go through a long stun. If you do an M1, you break the chain yourself, you're not in the stun. But there's a catch. If you do that to save time, they don't go into mending state. If you get stunned, then you mend. And there's this really annoying thing where you have to go through a very long cooldown, which is, I think, 4 seconds. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, the stun's 4 seconds.
4 seconds. So, yeah, let's say that you're in the shack or you're in a really strong pallet, and they drop the pallet and you get the shot. Now you reel them in, and they're at the pallet. What do? You got them real. Of course, what you're going to do, you want them to be injured. You don't want them to be healthy. So you're going to reel them. They're just going to wait, reel them, wait. It breaks. Gets done. 4 seconds. Survivor starts running away. Now mending. Now you stand up. Now break the pallet. 2 seconds. Now start chasing after them. They're out of the inhabitant.
Yeah, and you're 4.4, so you're never catching them. They're
so you're not like Legion where you can like shoot one guy, reel the harpoon, shoot the other guy. Now they're all mending. Oh my god, we can't be close to this killer. He can get us all injured and then pick us one by one. No, you can't. You're not even good at spreading damage quickly. That seems my concern. Like Legion is really bad at finishing people off quickly. But if you get everybody injured and then they have to make altruistic plays, then you got something.
I think another good thing to mention is, especially like PTB and lab, it's I think it's really, really hard to actually come to like concrete conclusions as to what's good, perks, killers, whatever the hell. Well, when you're playing like just against, random gamer 1 through 4 in normal games too, because skill level varies so much, man. It's so hard to like truly see the potential or the value or how good something is in general.
Yeah, the PT match,
just playing normal games.
Yeah, the matchmaking of PTB kind of blows, to be honest. It's pretty fucking
But
terrible.
that's why the experiment you did playing with
against all day long.
Yeah.
But that's why it's good that Tofu played against people that he knows are good. So
yeah, for sure.
Testing it out. So I'm gonna take his word over it, like over anybody else's.
Yeah, I agree. I will.
What would you say is wrong with him, Tofu? Because you've only praised that you seem to be. You think his power is in a good spot, right?
Yeah. Okay.
What's the thing that bothers you?
If you want to know what I think about him, I don't like. I can't tell if I like him or hate him as far as where he fits right now. Because again, I think he's in a spot where if you're good with him, right? Like if you're good at his ability, the survivor you're chasing can't do shit. Like they're fucked. Like you're just gonna kill them. And like I'm kind of worried about that. I'm kind of worried that like from the survivor point of view, it might feel helpless. Like I don't want that to be a thing. I'm a little bit worried. I don't think it didn't happen much on the PTB. Like I played a bunch of survivor on the PTB, but like most gunslingers I ran into, like I would literally be running and I'm like, why is this guy not taking a shot? Or I'd be doing a loop and I'm like, why is he not shooting over this thing that he can shoot over? Like it's very clear that most of them just didn't really know how to play. Which is obvious, right? Like the game, like he's new. Obviously, like I have like 6K hours, so like I pick up on some things a little bit quicker than other people. So like clearly, like not everyone's gonna be playing him to like his best potential. I mean, I'm not even playing him to his best potential yet, but it just I feel like the rare occasion that I did get a Deathslinger that was actually good and was able to hit shots, I was just like, every time I was getting chased, I was like, what do I do? I juke around. I try to juke his shot. He just hits me. If I don't try to juke his shots and I try to like run to a window or a pallet, I get shot. And I'm just like, fuck, what do I do? Like it feels like I'm worried that might end up being a problem. That like helpless feeling. You know what I mean? That's like a big thing that people hated about Spirit so much, was the like, the fact that you felt so helpless, like there was nothing you could do. But I will say, at the very least, at least it's fun. Like I don't know if the fun factor is because it's new or because it's just genuinely fun. But in the PTB, even when the Deathslinger was good, I still had fun dying because I would get fucking shot with a gun, and I'm like, holy shit, this motherfucker just shot me. You know what I mean? And like I had a good time, but I'm just worried if that's gonna continue to be a thing or not, right? Like if maybe like 3 months down the road, whenever the gun loses its new factor, and people are just like, oh, fucking Deathslinger again, here we go. The chases are gonna be fucking awful because he's just gonna shoot me everywhere I go, you know? Like if that ends up being a thing, I'm kind of worried. I'm a little bit concerned for it.
I don't know, like just based it off of like, the last bunch of killers that come out. I think again, from a survivor standpoint, just because I still have not yet played Oni. Really fun to go against, like just the roar, everything about it's just like scary to play against. And my gut feeling on Deathslinger is that I think he's just going to be really fun to play against. That's my biggest takeaway from it was like I actually had a lot of fun. I couldn't wait for the DLC to come out, and that doesn't happen a lot with DLCs for me. There's always, I either like the map a lot, I like the killer a lot, I like the perks or one perk a lot. And my biggest takeaway from this was I think the killer was the strong part of the DLC, which, you know, I don't think you could say that a lot for DLCs.
That makes me really happy to hear coming from you, honestly, because I was really curious to know your thoughts about it since you play mostly survivors. That's really, I think a big thing that like I need to keep in mind myself too, because since I'm so concerned about it, is that I think getting to that level of Deathslinger where you feel helpless is like hard. I don't think very many people are gonna get that good, right? It's like nurse. Like how many nurses do you run into where you feel helpless? Like it doesn't happen. Like most nurse players are like they're good, but they're not like unjukable good. Like you can still do something against them. Every now and again you'll run into like one of those absolute gods who are like legacy, who just like never miss a blink, and you're like, all right, well I'm fucked, you know. But it's so rare, and I feel like that's gonna be the same thing with Deathslinger. I feel like those games where you feel helpless are gonna be so rare that like most of the games are just going to be a really fun time, like juke and harpoon shots and shit. So I think it'll probably end up being okay.
Yeah.
I will say though that his strength is weird. Like as far as like if he's good or bad, is he top tier, low tier? It's so weird. Because I agree with Otz that like he needs like okay, for a killer to be able to win games, you need to be able to snowball. That's like the most important thing. Like you need to be able to snowball and like, you know, take advantage of like survivors that are grouped up and get multiple downs or whatever if you really want to win, right? And he struggles with that so hard because he has to like he hits people, he has to reel them in, hit them, reload while running 4.4, like they get distance, he has to chase them down again, shoot them, reel them in again. It like takes so long for that like process to get it down. Like yeah, he can do it reliably, but it just takes like such a big chunk of time, you know what I mean? And then like by the time you do that to like one survivor, there's like 2 gens done and you're like, holy fuck, dude, like what the hell am I supposed to do? So it's weird, but like I don't know how they could fix that without making him busto, you know what I mean? Like if they buff him in any way, then he's gonna end up being fucking nuts, I feel like, you know?
Yeah,
That's like
ever put him to 115, no thanks.
Yeah, no,
exactly. That's where my like initial problem came with him is like I don't like the real mechanic. It makes sense with him and with how he is, because hitting your initial shot is definitely not that hard at all. So it can't be that easy, and then you're like immediately rewarded with the amazing reward of pulling them instantly to you and being able to get a hit off. So it makes sense it can't be that easy. Like it can't be just handed to you very fucking easily. And I probably would have enjoyed somebody like basically fucking to make him Huntress essentially, man. That's what I wanted. Like I just want like they could have just made him, you know, Hunter. Like damn.
That would be the Legion tournament, wouldn't it? If you just make a killer go, just make him 115, give him a 32 meter terror radius, and just remove the gun. Just make him Legion. It's like no, it's good that there's unique things, like for sure, and that's probably that's what I assume was part of the reason they probably didn't go with something like charge up and then throw. Here's an idea that could help him snowball. If you're injured, it's a lot harder to resist a chin. How about that?
Or like he reels you in faster, maybe?
Exactly.
Yes.
Yeah, something
good
like
idea.
That way, help the survivors, it takes you a little bit to, you know, you have to go to the stun, whatever. But when everyone's injured, now it's not so simple. If you're injured and he catches you, you're gonna go down in 2 seconds. Bam. For those of you guys that actually played him, did you ever like feel like, man, they like were able to move a little bit too freely once you actually got the hit him with a harpoon?
Sometimes, yeah, dude. I would sometimes shoot somebody and then they would just strafe to the right the whole time, and by the time I hit them, I was like facing the entire other direction, and I was like, why the hell am I facing this way now? Like, holy shit. You'd get them to hit them through the window. He's making so that you don't right. He doesn't want you to see the gen work in the background. Just make you look in the corner of the Nile. I feel like I got robbed like a lot of the times. Like you'd get a clean shot through them on the window, they'd make it through the window, and then they go to so far to the right, and you'd be trying to make it over there to them, but where it like expedites, you know, the chain breaking whenever they're that's going through like objects and stuff, you get bodied a lot of the times. I don't know. See, I feel like
Was
that's a tough thing to fuck with though, because if you like nerf that, then it feels like shit from Survivor, right? Like if you nerf that, then it feels like fuck, I'm shot. What's even the point of this mechanic if I'm just gonna, you know?
Well, I don't mind it. It's just maybe it just seemed like a bit too much. You know, like how when Oni came out, you could fucking spin around the world 300 times before you ever M1, like coming out of his dash, and like they just reduced that speed just by a bit, and it ended up being fine. Like I don't think it needs if they do change it.
The breakage of the chain.
No, just like
the
survivor's ability to move, like while they're actually harpooned, and how they I mean, I found you can move quite a bit.
Yeah, what I found very crazy is just how quickly the chain breaks compared like with no obstacle and with one obstacle.
Yeah,
like it goes from like to just immediately depleted.
That changes while if you're like based on whether or not you're reeling though, right? Like if you're reeling, it goes faster.
Yeah. Well, I mean, just naturally, like okay, like when you shoot someone, the bar like if you shoot someone and you both just like AFK, just like back off your keyboard, it'll go really slow. If they struggle, like if they hold S like to try to go backwards, it'll go a little bit faster. If you reel, it'll go a little bit faster, like still, and if they get in between an object, it'll go faster still. So if you combine all those things, right? Like if they're in between an object, if they're holding S and you're reeling, it just fucking flies. Like it just flies up like instantly. So I don't. It's tough though again because like I feel like if you take away too much control, then it feels honestly. I'll just ask you guys this as like one last takeaway from this killer. I personally think that he's fine as he is right now. I want him to go to live exactly how he is, and I want to see how he plays out because I really feel like he might be in a good spot right now. Like I really do think that like once people get better with him, they're gonna find ways to snowball with him, right? Like they're gonna find ways to like, don't shoot the first guy, like get a normal M1 hit, then shoot him, like get it down, try to like spread map pressure. I feel like people are gonna find a way to be good with him, and I don't think he necessarily needs any like major changes. But I'm curious to know your guys' first impression if you guys think there's anything that should be changed.
I don't think that's a horrible idea, but I feel like behavior is so complacent sometimes. When a killer isn't quite right, but they're not a complete mess, they tend to forget about them for a year. And if it's going to be like same as Plague, where it's like, yeah, we get a tiny little bit patch like a year after she releases, or other killers where they get a tiny little bit patch like 15 years after they release, I don't know. Like if that was the case where they're releasing the way he is, and then they keep an eye out, see how he performs, and then adjust, that'll be perfect. But if they're just going to forget about him and start working on the next killer, that'll be very disappointing because it feels like he could improve, even if it's in a small way, if the killer's not completely broken.
Well, I'll tell you this much. I know for a fact that recently Behavior has started having like a live design team. So they have like designers that work on new killers, and they have like a set team now that works on which is why you've seen so many changes with like killer reworks. That's why like Doctor got reworked, and who else got reworked recently? Freddy and all that shit. All these reworks and like Trapper being able to set his traps now. That's all because they have a dedicated live.
Are we happy with this reworks? By the way, do you guys have any thoughts
on the Freddy and the Doctor rework?
No, everything like the Plague rework. You guys
all the reworks in general. I was gonna say because I think we did an entire podcast on the Doctor rework.
Yeah, no, hopefully we won't have to.
I mean, yeah, I think that they should spend more resources towards fixing up the shit that's already in the game myself, but
Tum-Tums needs a massive rework.
Yeah. Yep.
Who does?
He really does. LF fucking Bubba.
Motherface.
Tum-Tums, yeah. He's literally just the worst Billy. Like he's just the worst Billy. It's such a shame.
Terrible Billy.
Yeah, it fucking sucks.
Can't even fake chainsaw with him.
Yep. Like literally nothing. Like there's nothing he does better than Billy other than face camp. It's such a shame.
But yeah, I agree with
you guys want to know something? I did a bit of testing with Leatherface on stream. Not yesterday, but last week. I wanted to find out whether with like his best add-ons, you could like if let's say someone goes into a locker while you're swinging your chainsaw, and can you guys hear me? By the way,
mm-hmm. You're.
I'm sorry. Like all my monitors just turned off. It was kind of eerie. I'll trust that you can hear me. Yeah. But yeah, basically, I wanted to test whether if you bump into a locker, they have enough time to get out with like all the add-ons. And even with the best, I don't see the survivor times it perfectly. They can still get out after a tantrum, after you bump into it. And if you don't bump into it, they can all get out. Like there's like every time I've tried to like find anything fun to do with Leatherface, it's like nothing.
Oh,
Like
there's
nothing
to do. You just camp basement.
That's literally Insidious, Insidious, and then just chill. That's the number one thing to do, honestly.
He's definitely a good meme.
Yeah.
Like it's what Rob was saying, like death. Like you play Hunters for like 1,000,000 hours and you do this, like you watch Ralph for like 2 games and you're like, what? You can squeeze a hatchet through there? That's crazy. You watch me play Leatherface for 2 games and it's like, okay. Like, oh, that's why I made a mistake. You go down.
It's
like,
rough, man.
It's like you don't do anything fun. It's like
I don't know. Watching Pug play it makes me feel like I want to fucking face cam some people. Honestly, it makes me think he's pretty
problem
fun.
with
You
like
got the play with your food build. You've got the Insidious build, and I don't know. Personally, I could throw a Fruit Ninja build on anybody with mad grit and like agitation.
Oh yeah,
he's not playing a really good Survivor team because they'll just annihilate you if they know that's the build.
Yeah, that's the only thing I look for in any new killer is like just the amount of depth they have. I really can't play anybody else other than Huntress and actually truly be entertained. That's
honestly,
why I play like a crackhead as well.
Honestly,
like
Ralph,
I play the most crackhead possible way possible.
I really want to like hop in like a game with you. Like we can do it on release
For
if
sure.
you want and just show, because I want you to play, like you specifically. I want you to play Deathslinger because of how much you play like Huntress and how good you are with her. I want to see the shit you can do with Deathslinger once I show you some of the things that I found that you can
that's
do.
Like that's that's what I started doing immediately with him. Was like going for all the same stuff. Like you can literally hit everything you can hit with Huntress, you know, outside of like obviously like long range shit, but like over objects and just, you know, knowing the hitboxes, you can hit all the same stuff. Like I can hit over hay on loops on farm maps or over rocks. Like you can get all of those hits. It's just when is it actually even a good idea to get the hit? Do you have enough time to like get around before they break out? Things like that. Like you can hit over gens, like hit when they're healing. Like all the hitbox nonsense applies, and it's. I don't think it's that hard either because sure the hitbox for his harpoon or whatever, his projectile might be small, but survivors still have large hitboxes. So sure, you like with Huntress, you have more room to like not be as accurate, but as long as you're within there somewhere with him, you're going to get the hit. So it's not that bad.
You're right. I actually should have mentioned that, but I bet a bunch of people are probably like yelling at their monitors, probably like listening or watching this. There's actually some major issues with that. I saw Scott Jund actually made some videos about it. The hitboxes are very fucking unreliable right now. Like they are very unreliable.
It's not a hitbox thing. It's a dedicated server.
Yeah, it's a server thing. It's not the hitboxes. Yeah, sorry. I should stop saying that because I know the second you say hitboxes, the entire DBD community flips out and starts spamming DBD's fucking Twitter and shit. But you know, I like there is some issues where I've seen a lot of different clips where like you can like slow it down to 0.25 speed and you can like literally watch the harpoon like go right through a dude that's like running in a straight line and you're just like, what? And like there's definitely some issues there that need to be addressed, and that is another big thing that makes him like less appealing than Huntress, because like you said, the Huntress is like the hatchet hitbox is like a fucking flying refrigerator, you know what I mean?
It's definitely big, but you know, you know,
it's definitely a lot more forgiving, I'll say that much.
It is for sure.
Yeah, so that's definitely a thing as well.
Can I bother you all for like a super quick question without, you know, completely derailing the thing?
Sure.
Go for it.
Like knowing how dedicated servers affect this killer, but also affect like stalking, some of the other things. How happy are you with dedicated servers overall? Do you wish you could go back?
Yes, I do. Every day of my life,
I suffer so much. But
I personally noticed like a huge difference. I used to love going against Huntress. Now I despise it because she was the biggest person to take the change on the dedicated server, in my opinion. Like I'm used to the bullshit hits from like Freddy or Billy, or like, you know, people that have huge like M1 just, you know, lunges. But man, the shots that I get hit by Huntress now, I don't know. Maybe it's in my head. I don't know, but I used to just love going against Huntresses, even really good ones. Now I just hate it.
No, it's not in your head. Trust me. It's every. It's like every killer is like it's awful. Like getting hit through windows, getting hit like miles around corners. It's bad.
Have you guys ever played Plague and spit on someone and seen the animation of them being like, oh, and then they're fine?
Yeah.
Oh god.
Because the server didn't register. It is the grossest thing ever.
It happens to me a bunch.
If you play Ghostface, there's times the leaning, which is an action that you do, is server side. It's not client side. So many times you go to a tree, you click the lean button, you'll be like, I'm not leaning. And you click it again, and then your character suddenly goes like, oh, and they start leaning late. for characters that require such like precise movements and reactions, the fact that everything's so janky is so bad. Oh man, I can't see.
Like as long as I'm on like a 60 ping server, which is usually like the norm for me, like I don't get any bad things with like a delay and stuff. But son, I don't know, for the past like day or two, I've been getting like 130 ping, 180 ping. I get in the game and it takes a year to even charge a hatchet.
Yeah.
It takes so long for the fucking hit to register. Like I'm already in the next chase. Jesus. I don't know.
I'm sorry. I'm gonna cut off the dedicated server talk because we could probably do an entire fucking podcast on
but
that.
we all agree.
We could.
Yeah, I feel like we all agreed the game was better P2P, at least, you know, the way the servers are right now, for sure.
Yeah.
I'm gonna get into like the perks. I feel like we talked about the new killer this entire time. There's a bunch of new perks. We got 3 for survivor and 3 for killer, and I'm really curious to hear you guys' thoughts because some of these are kind of spicy. Some of them are kind of boring, but some of them are kind of spicy. So, like, for instance, like, this one is kind of spicy, I think. For the people is a new survivor perk where it's only active at full health, and it's literally just an insta-heal. You can walk up and you can insta-heal somebody, but when you insta-heal somebody, it makes you broken for 80 or 90 seconds. I'm pretty sure it's 90 seconds. I think I typed this. Yeah, so you basically walk up and you insta-heal somebody, but then you become broken for a minute and a half. Which is really interesting. I feel like this is one of those things where like people freak out about insta heals, but like I don't know. Like, do you guys think this is problematic? Good, bad?
I think they forgot to left out the full name of the perk, which is for the people that play with their friends and who are on Discord call and who can communicate with each other and who can wait at the end of the game to completely fuck you over. That's like the full name of the perk. I hate it. I hate it.
A meta perk at all. I don't care what people are saying, but I think in the hands of an SWF team, it's going to be one of those another annoying. It's not going to be like borrowed time level or the certain DS level, but it's going to be like their little like second cousin kind of deal where it's going to be frustrating. It really is. But outside of that, it's never going to be frustrating. It's actually kind of useless. The only way I could even see it be a thing is, boom, I use it on somebody, and then I pop like what the hell, like the Siptic?
You can't because you're broken.
Yeah, you actually can't do that because
they balance that out kind of well. You can't get it.
But you can do the bar thing on
but you can still have borrowed time.
Actually, but could you pop the Siptic and then use the perk?
No, you can't because you were healthy to use the perk.
Oh, you're right.
Unless you pop it and then finish healing and then use it. I don't know. There might be like some
10K.
I don't know if there's. I take it back.
SWFs here though, and that's who's gonna like friggin' make everybody like lose their shit.
Yeah, I mean it might be possible, but realistically, like at face value though, to me it really doesn't seem. I feel like the only time that this is going to be useful, right? Because you're making yourself broken. So like if you run up to somebody that's injured, like say if you run up to the killer's face after he downs someone and try to insta heal the guy in his face, he's just going to kill you because you're now injured, right?
No, that's where you're wrong. That's where you're wrong. Because there's like half the killers that after they down someone, they go 16 minutes worth of cooldown from whatever power they were using. Like Demogorgon or something. Like
it's
my take.
You and say 3 seconds is the standard cooldown, and I don't think they're getting very.
We can check the numbers afterwards.
You're still just going to be able to down somebody immediately. Like
yeah.
I think I agree. Like in Survive with Friends, people are probably going to find a pretty decent way to use it, but on the opposite end of the spectrum in solo queue games, it's for the people to bitch at each other in post game chat.
Yeah, probably.
Because it's going to be the game thrower 3000.
I think the only time it's actually going to be like really useful, just like, okay, aside from doing like these like 10k IQ fucking popping a styptic and a 99 in your heel, like if you're not doing some shit like that, if you're just using it like at face value, I think the only time it's ever going to be useful is like, say like the killer is slugging, right? Like say he like downs somebody and then like he like wants to go like kick a gen, or if he wants to like, you know, like if he saw someone else and he's like, oh, let me go see if this person's over here still so I can get another down. If you like walk away for like 5 seconds, someone runs up, insta heals, and you both run off, you know, that's when it's going to be really useful, like that one niche situation, which again, like I don't really think is that big of a deal. Like as a killer, you're making that choice to slug, right? Like I'm not saying slugging is a bad thing, like it's a good strategy, but like at the same time, it's punishing a decision you made. It's not like you can. Like, it's not like you can't avoid it, you know? I honestly think it's okay.
I don't know. I just, when I've run into people, at least for like the small amount of time I played it, because I definitely used it for like 4 or 5 matches and then just kind of got bored with it. Yeah, it's just, again, it comes down to being like a very situational perk. It's like you said, if he goes away to kick a Jenny, it could wind up, you know, snowballing, getting out of control for him. But I feel like 9 out of 10 times, it's going to be a guy that's in full health, runs up, hits it, then he gets tapped, and then the killer either goes after one of each of you, and then he gets another person down. I think it's only going to cost a good killer a very small amount of time.
Yeah, for an entire perk slot. I would rather play against that than play against like some of the other perks you're into, right?
But
like,
that's the problem. You're still going to be able to deal with that, and then deal with the 60-second from the guy that got unbreakable because of DS, and also manage the people on the ground that could have unbreakable, and also be careful if you're on one gem.
But like at this point, it's gonna replace one of them. You know what I mean? Like right now, like I don't think it's among the 4 strongest. Right?
That's the problem. I don't think it is going to replace one, because the thing about Unbreakable is that the threat of Unbreakable is there, the threat of DS is there, and the threat of this perk is now there. And every time you see a guy coming to you at full health, going for the guy that you just down, that you know is there on hook, that you need to kill right now, even though you've played really nice, you need to kill him right now. Now you don't know if the guy coming full health has that. And it's going to be that other extra layer of, well, they have that protection now. Because you have 2 people running this perk, say, in an average thing. You have everybody there on hook. You now need to kill someone. When you find that Clavette that you need to kill right now, the one guy that hasn't shown his face the whole match is going to be his bodyguard. It's just going to be right behind.
Are you suggesting that 2 separate full health survivors are going to come up and take a dude from downstate to full health, and then they're just going to like?
No, I wasn't even thinking about that. But now that you mentioned, yes, that's exactly what ever.
Oh, it's funny. I think you're thinking of like the worst case scenarios right now. I'm gonna be honest. I think you might
you're probably right. You're probably
you
right.
had a rough day of killer today, my friend.
I do think it's probably going to hurt like the killers that are already like, you know, super like weak more than anybody else. Like clearly it will. Like all the you know, man with knife M1 killers and shit like that, they're definitely going to get hurt by it more. Because it will take them a bit more time than some, like with hunters. I dare somebody to run that dumbass perk.
Yeah.
Because I'm knocking down you and I'm knocking down your buddy. Like that's it. You're dumb. You're done.
If someone comes to you like full health and you're Billy, it's like, okay, dude, yeah, run behind me at full health. See what happens. Like I'll make sure to down you in one hit. But what if you're playing one of the half killers in the game that cannot insta down someone that needs to get to hit? Yeah. Oh, I don't know, man. I don't know. Like, and it's another one of those perks that makes the end game. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I dread the end games like right now.
I mean,
like I just take people to the exit sometimes. Just let them go. Like you just have to sit there for a minute, and there's like 17 perks that you have to worry about. I find that just not very fun.
From a survivor main standpoint that doesn't use crutchy stuff, to me it's like really like not even valuable. So I mean, like I just see DS and Unbreakable, and I don't think I could have categorized it any better, saying it's literally like a second cousin to it. Even if people are using this over, I don't even know, just other like leadership or prove thyself or something. I mean, they're literally doing themselves a huge disservice to kind of maybe situationally have a perk that happens. They almost might want to be memeing on you almost. You might get one of those like unserious SWFs. You know what I mean? Where they're trying to make some like plays and stuff. I really don't look at it as a threat. I just don't. I'm not excited about the perk even as a player. But then again, I'm pretty much solo like 99.9% of the time. unless there's, somebody that queues up with me that I regularly play with. So from my standpoint, again, totally non-killer, sided here, just pure survivor. I don't think I'm even gonna touch it.
Yeah, I honestly don't think it's gonna be an issue at all. That's kind of I'm actually really like I'm it's interesting that you feel so strongly about it, Odds, because I like,
okay, let me just summarize something because maybe I came up wrong. I don't think it's like the perk is like completely bonkers. I just think that it just makes that little gap between the solo players like Pug and the 4 people that just run the nastiest 4 perks with all the nastiest 4 things. That little gap between the 4-man Survivor Friends Unstoppable team, between that and the 4 solo players, that gap is now a tiny little bit bigger now. And I don't know how I feel about that.
That's
why no more perks like Kindred that help bridge that gap? Why no more perks that give good info? Wouldn't that be a healthier thing? Don't know. My thoughts.
Yeah, that's fair.
I can agree with you.
Your mic is cutting out here and there while you're talking, by the way. It's not a big deal. I still get the general gist of what you're saying because it only cuts out for like half a second, but I don't know if that's something you can look into. Or
my monitors keep turning off, and I'm
you're like power
surging over there. I think I'm having the wrong opinion. I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna move to the next perk. This one I find boring as shit, but we'll see if we can get some quick thoughts. Off the record, basically when you're unhooked, you become immune to aura reading and you make no grunts of pain for 80 seconds. That's it. That's the perk.
Yeah, that's super meh.
Like it's basically you just like combine Iron Will and then give it like a little bit of aura reading for like a little bit of time. Like
it is easily the worst survivor perk out of the 3. Like it's not even debatable.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you considered using this with other perks such as Object of Obsession, for example? Because 80 seconds of object and the killer doesn't know where you are, that's pretty huge.
You know where he is. Okay.
That's kind of neat.
That's good.
Cool. I didn't think about that.
I think Object needs a nerf anyways. Like I think Object is too good.
Yeah.
I think it's way too good.
Usually the only people that use it are pretty bad for some reason.
It's not even good.
For sure.
It's just unhealthy.
Exactly, I agree. Like being able to get that much information for as free as it is, like there's like you just get it. That's it. There's nothing you have to do to get it.
The killer knows that you're in a generator from across the map with like the wall of China between you and them.
Exactly. That's
great.
Son. Oh, I hate this conversation. I hear people say that all the time. It's like, well, yeah, sure. I don't care if they have object. I know where they're at. You know where the hell they're at in the first place. They're on a fucking Jin. Hello? Of course you know. You don't need to see them. You know they're on a Jin. What are they going to do? And if they're not on a Jin, then who gives a fuck where they're at, dude? What the hell are you talking about?
Because let me tell you, they find other stupid shit to do. Trust me.
No, and they definitely do, and I agree. And when they find that other stupid shit to do, I will find them eventually. I'll get to them. But like, you can't justify fucking like, or you can't be okay with them using OO because you know they're on a Jin. I knew they were on a Jin without it. So what am I, motherfucking Raven? No, like what's going on? We know where they're at, dude.
You're right, and I agree about object. That perk, yeah, fuck that perk. But but okay, this perk though, like I think the combination with object is obviously fucking really good. But like outside of that, is there really any use? Like I feel like outside of combining with object, it just seems like it's.
I don't think so because like just run Iron Will. Like this perk would have been amazing. Like maybe 2 years ago when every killer had nurses, barbecue, and better. I don't know. Like there were like 3 killer perks in the game. You know, now killers don't even run that.
Yeah,
they run infectious. They run discordance. They run these perks that don't read auras anymore. What's the point? So yeah, I mean, cool perk. I think there's gonna come a point where there's so many survivor perks that are gonna start to cannibalize each other, and they're gonna try to like overlap over what they do.
Yeah,
but it's kind of sad. I'm not super thrilled.
Yeah, I feel like this perk's just kind of boring. So I'm just gonna move to the next one, which is probably my favorite of the 3. This one is wait, did you? I didn't cut anyone off, did I?
Nope.
Oh, not okay. This last perk is red herring, which is my favorite perk of the 3. I love this one, dude.
It's great.
This one they need to keep releasing perks like this. Okay, this perk is basically when you're working on a gen for at least 3 seconds, it highlights. Like it becomes a highlighted gen to you. The next time you get into a locker anywhere on the map, that gen will make a loud noise for the killer. So it's like a funky misdirection. It has a cooldown of a minute. But yeah, you
Dude,
can do it once a
Pebble
minute.
2.0, but better.
Yeah,
Literally what I was thinking.
yeah, it's like
That's-
Pebble 2.0. It's amazing.
I mean, I don't know how many of you guys, when you do like mess with Survivor, if you, I mean, I know Tofu does head on all the time, but
Yeah.
I mean, my locker build, which is I've had it for like 5 months now, just inner strength, quick and quiet, and head on, and I've used Detective's Hunch forever. But now I'm definitely gonna run this new perk for it.
Oh yeah, dude. I feel like just in general, just like outside of even head on, like obviously head on is like the first thing people think of when it comes to lockers, but even just inner strength, like think about how strong that is if you have like inner strength and that perk, and then you're injured and you just jump in a locker, it makes a noise, he's distracted, you're gonna heal up because obviously he's distracted. Like it honestly feels like it's gonna be fun because like obviously it's always fun to like do shit like that, but it's also it feels like it might be kind of strong too, you know? And it's gonna be fun, like Sabo, or like, you know, fucking with your teammates. Like we're gonna gen for 3 seconds and then running away and hopping in a locker and watch the killer running in and killing him. You know,
I have nightmares.
It's gonna be super tactical, and for a person that you know, plays solo, I'm excited for it.
Yeah.
I think it's fun.
Yeah,
I'm all for fun perks. Whenever I play
I don't know if
Survivor,
you
I
guys
use Pebble.
Do
Pebble
you,
is fun
you
as
guys
hell.
pull it off in the PTB against the killer? Have you pulled it off?
I didn't.
It is the most satisfying thing ever. Just to see this, the killer with Pebble, you usually throw it and run away. You don't really get to see it that many times. With this, you can see the killer go. You pick a good lucker that oversees everything. You see the killer go, and you're like, "You dumb bitch!" I told you. It's so funny. You need to run it. It's so funny,
Dude, I'm gonna be running it in like every build. Honestly, it's gonna be fun.
It's definitely going to be a pain in the ass.
Yeah, I love perks like that. Honestly. Okay, I'm gonna move on to the killer perks. These ones are like weird and like underwhelming to me. They're odd. Okay. So the first one's Gearhead. People were like hype about this for some reason, but like I don't get it. Gearhead, basically it's every 2 basic attacks. So like after 2 basic attacks, it just activates. Like you don't like get to activate it. It's just on your second basic attack, it activates. It's active for 45 seconds, and during that 45 seconds. Anyone that's like repairing a gen, if they hit a good or a great skill check, that gen becomes like highlighted until, or like, well, for as long as it's being repaired, it becomes highlighted. So it's basically like every 2 basic attacks, you get this like generator tracking for 45 seconds. But it's really weird because like you don't really get to choose when it activates.
It's weird. It's very weird.
Yeah.
And survivors, if you get really unlucky. I remember you would have to be very unlucky, but you could have 2 no skill checks. If they get no skill checks, you got no use out of it.
Yeah, which is definitely also a thing. But on top of that, like it's just I feel like you can get that information like for instance, like your second basic attack is like likely it's most likely going to be a down, but even if it's not, like it just doesn't really feel like if it's not a down, then you're probably going to be in a chase anyway. And if it is a down, then why would you not just run something like Thrilling Tremors or Barbecue and Chili? You know what I mean? It just feels like a weird like gen tracking perk that doesn't really.
What I kind of like about it, the one thing is that it disappears when they stop working on it. So you could use that. You could use that to be like, oh, this guy, I'm going to this direction with Hunters, for example, and this gen just now stop being yellow. But by the time you get there, you have a mental image of how far that person might have traveled.
I don't know, man. Like,
obviously, you wouldn't run on the Hunters because you're never going to get 2 basic attacks in time. But if you slap this on the killers that get such as Freddy, Hag, probably not Hag because she doesn't control gens that much. But if you slap this on one of those killers, I can see it being okay-ish. It's like a barbecue thrilling kind of replacement. I kind of like it. I think it's my favorite, and that's not saying much, but yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just okay. I'm not really excited for it at all, honestly.
No,
I don't know, man.
Not very game changing.
It's like discordance to me. I really don't care for your discordance. Like perks like this that just give you that gen and glow nonsense when they're on the gen or whatever. To me, honestly, and this is like my bias from playing Hunters as well. Like it's not going to be as bad for me when playing if I was playing just like or if I wasn't playing her, it would be worse. But perks like this, like you generally just through like the interaction that you have with them all throughout the game. And I know it's like even more biased because I have a lot of hours in the game, so you know it's like we know how people play and shit like that. but you generally have a pretty good idea on what gens people are already doing just from your normal interactions and like, okay, you got this person here, blah, 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 whatever the hell. You don't really need something like Discordance, for example, to tell me they're on that gen because guess what? I probably already knew it. I don't know. And this perk seems like it's doing the same thing. And it's just, man, like I would never run it ever.
Yeah. I mean, to pretty much like piggyback off that, and I know we got 2 more perks to go. There's always 4 things I look to for the DLC. It's the killer, the map, and the survivor perks, and then the killer perks. I don't count the survivor just because it's a skin to me. I'll be honest, I'll be a Meg main for life. So I just don't really incorporate that. But I gotta say, the perks on both sides, I'm not sure if we've ever had a weaker set of perks to come out via DLC.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, we have. Oh yeah, we have. Oh
Yeah? I don't know. I feel like there's
Yeah.
one strong one in like almost every other one. It's
No.
Yeah, I think there's at least one strong one.
What do you?
perks
Okay.
even more. You're just
Are we,
worth-
are we counting PTB or like on release?
I
Because
mean, because all we have to go on is PTB now, so just PTB.
I would say demos perks are way worse than this. Like way worse. There's 2 perks that are unsalvageable.
But the survivor perks were pretty like inner strength was pretty solid.
Because there were 6 of them.
Rank this god tier.
Because there were 6 of them. So out of the
Yeah.
6, yeah, there's like 1 that's good. Now name a second good perk of the whole.
Yeah, fixated's
Oh,
pretty
okay.
pretty amazing.
Okay, all right, sure. How many people do you see run Babysitter? How many people do you see run Second Win? How many people do you see run Better Together? It's like I just wish these perks were released and people actually used them, you know, and they had a good reason to run them.
I
It seems
mean,
like-
listen, I'm in the way where I think you guys might agree with this. If you took all the perks in the game and you just buffed the living hell out of 80% of them, I don't think you're really unbalancing the game too much. There's literally perks you could buff to high hell and nobody would still use them.
Yeah, I
You're
agree.
probably right.
They
I just want some variety, you know?
I would honestly love to see them just like every like I don't know, like 3-6 months just fuck with all the perks. Like take all the best perks and just fucking nerf them a little, take all the bad perks and just fucking buff them a little, and then just throw chaos. You know what I mean? Just fucking make it chaos and just have people like mix shit up and do some different builds. Like have some meta shifts, you know? Because it really has been like the exact same perk meta for like 2 years now, like 2-3 years now. It's never really changed.
Dude, they've nerfed DS what 2-3 times now? It's still like this perk.
Yeah.
You know? It's like, come on, man.
Yeah, I agree. It's pretty nuts. Like I think the only perk that actually got nerfed out of the meta like ever was probably self-care. And even that, like people still run it sometimes. Like it's not terrible. It's just not
It's still the most run perk.
It is, which blows my mind.
Yeah. Well, I mean at low level that's probably important when your teammates are
And
unreliable.
you also
sure.
you should also mention because that perk is not. I don't see it being used that much.
Oh
anymore.
yeah, that's true too. That is also true. And Medal of Man. Okay. All right.
Okay,
Well,
let's go back.
everyone's correcting me. Okay. There's definitely some perks they've butchered. You got me. All right. Anyway, I'm gonna talk about this. The next perks. Gearhead's kind of boring. Hex Retribution is the second one. Sorry, I can't speak English. Any survivor who cleanses a Doll Totem, it's a Hex perk. FYI. Any survivor that cleanses a Doll Totem is hit with Oblivious for 45 seconds. And if somebody cleanses a Hex Totem, including this perk, like any Hex Totem that gets broken while this perk is active, reveals all the survivor's auras for 10 seconds. So that's the whole thing. It seems like it's just a Hex perk that you combo with other Hex perks, essentially.
Yeah.
I hate it.
This mixed with like, you hate it? Really?
I don't like it. You might be like, oh, what? What do you mean? It seems really. I hate it. I think I hate what it represents. You know, like some time ago with the whole Ruin nerf, there were so many people being like, oh, what they need to do is just give another Hex perk that will protect Ruin. And it's like, this feels like a big patch. Now, if I say, oh, Third Seal is a terrible perk, oh, just run it with Hex Retro. Lullaby, sometimes I lose it and I get no stacks. It's a really run it with Hex Retro. Oh, my Ruin was going in the first 10 seconds. Just run it with Hex Retribution. Now, this is going to be the scapegoat of like all the bad Hex perks that exist in the game right now.
Really? I feel like that was already Thrill of the Hunt. Like, that's already what Thrill of the Hunt did, didn't it? So, like,
then why do it in a second? Like, I don't get it.
See,
like,
I don't think that's really the point of this. I don't think the point of this perk is to like protect your totem. I think it's just to add some extra synergy, right? Like this with like Haunted Ground would be pretty nuts, right? Like I imagine like if you're running like a 4 totem build, if you have like Haunted Ground with this and they break Haunted Ground, then they're exposed. The dude that did it's oblivious, and all survivors, you can see them all for 10 seconds. Like that's a big combo of like buffs, you know?
Have Tinker in there or another oblivious add-ons and stuff.
Yeah, and then or if you're just playing a stealth killer, you know, if you're playing like Ghostface or something, like Jesus, like you're fucked. Like he's gonna know where you are, you're not gonna know where he is. It's like I think it can lead to some good combos. It's interesting though because it seems like it's only there for those type of builds where you just like slap on a bunch of hex perks and you're like, let's see what we can do.
I'm just afraid what it could mean. I'm afraid that developers are going to be like, well, now we don't need to fix totem locations anymore because half the totems explode on the survivor's face. Now we don't need to fix hex perks anymore. I'm just afraid of that potential outcome. The perk itself is like there's nothing wrong with it. It's just that like I don't know. It's you remember when we complained that the maps are too big and then Corrupt gets released and we complain that this is too slow and then like band-aids. It doesn't feel good.
I mean, that's kind of like that's a thing that's happened with DBD forever, just because they like have like a smaller dev team. So like when there's like major problems, it's like, well, we can't really go back and redo every single fucking map in the game because we have like one map design, or at least they did, So they're like, instead of doing that, let's just release a perk that helps with it a little bit. So it like I get that shit's frustrating, but I don't think that I'm hoping that's not what they're doing here. I definitely get that concern that they're just going to use this perk as like don't worry about all the problems with hex totems. Fuck it, take this perk and shut up. I don't think that's what they're going to do, but I can see why you're concerned about it for sure. Outside of that, though,
the perk is very interesting, and if you do something, which is nice, I really like that. But one thing that concerns me a bit is that you guys remember when they introduced the endgame collapse, players suddenly started 99 in exit gates.
Yeah.
And then that completely changed how people played around the game. I think that perks like this are just going to make survivors just don't do totems.
You should move your mic like closer, turn down your the like gate or something just a little bit. It just does it like sometimes and then goes back to.
It's so sorry. I've
you're fine.
Yeah, we've been playing a lot of fill in the gaps of.
Yes, I watch your face, so you'll be like.
No, something's very wrong, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Is it a bit better now?
It will probably actually be perfect now.
Okay, do forgive me. I think the new meta for totems is just going to be nothing until Devour Hope pops up. What do you think?
I mean, maybe. I feel like if it's gonna be one of those games where you can tell that like everyone is gonna have like if it's one of those games where everyone's gonna have like the 4 hex totems, like if you I don't know, I still feel like the way I will always play Survivor is just like if I see a burning hex totem, I'm fucking cleansing that shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't think there's ever gonna be a time when I don't do that. I don't care how many perks you add. You could add a perk where like, hey, when a survivor cleanses this hex totem, it drains $300 from their bank account, and I'm gonna be like, dude, that fucking totem is lit. That shit could be Devour Hope. I'm breaking it. I don't give a fuck. I'm breaking it no matter what. So
dude, I'm a slut, so it's built into my perk, so I'm definitely doing it.
Yeah, I don't it definitely could be a thing. I really don't think it will be. I think people are going to break totems no matter what, especially as long as there's totems like Devour Hope where like you can't really detect them, but you know that they might be a major threat. I think they should add that might be a good thing though. They should add more perks like that. Because I feel like a lot of the hex totems are like easy to detect, right? Like you can like get M1 by a killer and touch a gen and be like, okay, it's not Lullaby, Ruin, or Third Seal, right? Like you already know that those 3 aren't it. And I feel like that might not be good, right? I think more perks like Devour Hope where you can't really know until it's too late type perks are probably a good idea to add. That way they're more scared and they want to break totems more, is definitely probably a good idea.
Dude, I feel like they should start like attaching good survivor perks to the killer's hex totem. Like they keep the perk, but if they break the killer's hex totem, like if the killer has a hex totem, then they lose their perk as well.
Damn.
That would be fun. Like add some like gambling, risky nonsense. That'd be fun as hell.
Stop there, Satan.
That would be cool if that would probably require them to have like one dedicated hex like slot for each side or something, but
Imagine
Maybe.
it's RNG and it's just you just lose the ability to use a random perk.
you just one of your
Ooh.
perks just goes away.
No.
You're just like,
Ooh.
fuck.
Like, could you imagine if like adrenaline was attached to a hex totem, and if the killer doesn't have a hex totem, it's still going to be a hex, but you don't know if the killer has any hex perks. But
So
they're
you might
a
just break your
glowing-ass
own totem?
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Oh, God,
Sounds
dude.
good to me.
That would
Higher,
be.
higher, Ralph.
That's fucking spicy, dude. Holy. All right. There's one more perk that we can talk about before we move on. This one's another one that's kind of weird. It's called Dead Man Switch. Basically, you hook the obsession. The perk activates for 45 seconds. I don't know why everything in this DLC activates for 45 seconds. It's such a weird number. This perk activates for 45 seconds. While it's activated, any survivor that's like repairing a gen and then lets go, that gen becomes blocked for the entire 45 seconds. So it's like you hook the obsession, and then if anybody like gets off the hook to go for the save, I guess it blocks. I mean, I know you can like already off the top of my head, people are gonna like combo this with stuff like Doctor, right? Like you can hook the obsession. Like maybe if you're running like the things that make your terror radius bigger, you can do your static blast and it'll pop them off the gen for a second and block it in their face. You know, you can do stuff like that. But oh, I want to say real quick, the amount of people that saw this perk and was like, run it with ruin and then regress the perks in their face or whatever. I feel the need to say that we've done a lot of testing and talked to the devs, and that actually doesn't work. I know I even like made a video on this, and now I feel like a dumbass. But that's not how it works. If a gen is blocked by like entity, it will not regress. Just an FYI. So the whole like comboing it with ruin to try to like regress gens in like your fate, it doesn't work. We've tested it, does not work. So with that being a thing, like, is this perk ever gonna be ran? Like, is this ever something anyone's ever gonna want? I don't know.
Can you run it for something other than to like stall and just make sure the person on the hook dies? Because that's ideally what you could do with it. The obsession. You want to force a second stage or kill him on the hook. And what you can do is just, if you're Freddy, pretend to teleport, make them go away, then go to the other gen, push them away yourself. Now those two gens are blocked. The third gen is right under the hook, so you go back, and now you face camp people for 45 seconds, nothing they can do.
See, that is such a niche situation. Like,
is it really? Because, I mean, if you put it on your Freddy build, you could do that every other game. Like, I don't feel like it's that crazy. Sure, you need to hook the obsession. Like, it's not every hook, sure. But 45 seconds to stall, like, I don't see how the perk is kind of healthy.
I don't think the build is invented yet, but this is the one perk out of the three that scares the hell out of me. I think somebody's going to figure out like certain killers, and it's going to be obnoxious. Like I could just see it doing something.
Yeah.
Maybe some dumb build where with the obsession changes nonsense and killers that can already apply pressure. Like I was sitting here thinking in my head, like going like some build with Huntress where the obsession changes and just making sure it changes whenever for the person that I want to hook, and just hooking them and then just tossing hatchets at every fucking gen. If you're going to take the hit or you're going to get hit. Let the gen go.
That's
45 seconds.
Yeah,
Get out.
Fields, you just hit each gen, you just throw a hatchet at it.
Starts awesome.
One thing that I think is very important is that the survivors get a warning that you have it, which I don't like.
Yeah, that's weird.
I think. Why? Can you, like, I was talking about it today. Can you imagine if when you were chasing a survivor and they did a vault over a pallet, you had a pop-up saying quick and quiet, and they were chasing around and they were quiet. They had Iron Will. You had pop-ups about everything that they have and what they're going to have. Wouldn't that be weird?
For anything in the game, I hate it on No Mither. Like, you can name it. You can go down the list. I hate it on everything. I think it's stupid to have a warning. Lullaby, why is that even there? They shouldn't know about it until never? I don't know. I just hate that it even pops up.
I agree with that. I honestly feel like this showing that could actually give you like a sort of advantage though, because I feel like them seeing that you have it is gonna make them not want to get off the gen, right? Which could
they're gonna cling to it.
Yeah, which means you can like, I feel like it's almost like a camping type thing, right? Where like you can pretty much like force them to go to struggle state or like die on the hook because you know that people are probably going to be staying on gens and not setting up for the save, maybe. But I don't know. Like you are right. Like it seems like it should not be shown. Like I feel like the whole point of it is supposed to be like you're on a generator, your teammate gets hooked, and you're like, oh, should I go for the save? You get off the gen and like and start to walk over, and you look back and the gen's blocked, and you're like, motherfucker, Like I feel like that's the point of it, but it just doesn't. It's never gonna do that because they see it. They just immediately see it, and they're like, oh, if I let go of this, it's gonna get blocked. Like I agree, it shouldn't be shown. I also am a little, I agree that this is probably the most concerning one, and I feel like it's probably going to end up being annoying. I don't think it's ever going to be strong. That's my thing. I don't think this is ever going to actually be like a strong perk. I feel like it's just going to be fucking annoying, Someone's going to find a way to make this annoying as shit. Yeah. But, I guess all we can do is see. I don't think any of these perks really, that's all the perks.
Just imagine someone, they put you on the hook, you happen to be the obsession for whatever reason, and they block it's a 3-gen situation, they block it and they stare at you for 45 seconds. Like, what? And the other guys can't do anything.
Yeah.
It's so oddly designed.
Does anybody get the feeling that the devs are scared to bring out a strong perk for either side? Like a truly it's going to be meta changing?
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Because I feel like it's really hard to make a perk that's strong but also healthy, right? Look at Metal of Man. They added Metal of Man, which was insane. And it was really strong, but it was a little too much, to the point where people were like, all right, this is fucking ridiculous. You know what I mean?
Agreed.
But again, even with that though, if they add a Metal of Man-esque perk, if they just gave the killer a Metal of Man-esque perk on their side too, I think that's what's important. If they're ever going to release something big, I think everything they do, if they nerf one side, nerf something on the other side, right? If they add a really strong perk on one side, make sure there's a counter. I think as long as they do that, it would be okay, right? So I do agree that I think they're probably not wanting to test their limits and put out anything too strong just because it might break the entire game. But I mean, fuck it, just give both sides something,
Yeah, but it would
understandable from their part. I get it, but
it would take a little bit of effort too.
Yeah,
because we already have the perks that are strong are pretty fucking strong. So if they made something equivalent or better, holy shit, what the hell's that gonna do?
I feel like they should probably just tone down the perks that are strong. I feel like that would be enough to make the other perks have a chance to shine in. Is instead of releasing more strong shit, just tone down the shit that's already strong a little.
What's the kind of perks you guys want to see more of? Like name one perk and be like, oh, I want more perks like that.
I want
name one or two.
I mean,
more fun dodging type. I don't know, perks. I've said forever, I've wanted a prone perk that's exhaustible. You can go prone for 5 seconds.
That's fucking crazy.
That sounds fucking nutty.
Just from a game standpoint, man, it'd be hilarious.
I love information perks. I love stuff like Kindred, Bond. I love information perks or perks that are just goofy and fun. Either stuff like Diversion and Head On, or stuff like Bond, Kindred, and even from the killer's point of view, I love Whispers and even barbecue and chili, just information perks I find are really fun and I like a lot.
I don't know, it's easier for me to think of fun perks to come out on Survivor, because they're fun. It's hard for me to think of well, it's not hard to think of perks that would come out for killer or fun perks that would come out. It's just their version of fun is so opposite of fun for the other end that it's but it's Head On. I don't give a fuck about Head On, dude. That's fun as hell to even go against. Doing the little mind game back and forth at lockers and shit. It's fun as hell. I wish they'd even make some of those perks better, like Diversion. Why the fuck can't we just throw the pebble while we're laying on the ground too? What that would be fun.
That just sounds fucking goofy, but
that would be so fun.
Ralph had a notebook filled with ideas from the past week that he's been bringing. He's got some really good ones.
I do wish there was more. I agree with you though. I think there is this problem with killer where it's how do you add a fun killer perk that doesn't just fucking make survivors miserable, right? For instance,
exactly.
I feel Head On and Pebble, even as a killer, I'm just if I get caught by a pebble, I'm that was a fucking pebble, you little shit, you son of a
whap,
nabbit, you son of a bitch. It's all just good fun, right? I'm oh, you goober, you know. But as a survivor, how do you add something like that, right? What's fun for a killer? Flying into the air and dive bombing a survivor or something. You know what I mean?
That's the problem.
Yeah,
they're the killer.
Survivor,
they're not the liver.
You're gonna be what the fuck? I feel there's nothing you can do that's gonna be I don't know. It's hard. It's hard to make something that's like fun for the killer, but not feel fucking terrible as the survivor. You know?
Because it's like the fun for killer ends up in you not even being able to play the game anymore. You're out. Like, sure, you get hit by head on, but woohoo, you got ahead of me. Oh well, gonna get you anyways. Like, awesome. I don't get, like, that doesn't lead to me not playing the game. I get to play the game until, you know, everybody's dead, everybody leaves.
Yeah, that's a good point though. Like they could come up with shit. How about I just had this dumb idea in my head that I'm just gonna throw out there because fuck it. What if they added a perk where you can pick up a down survivor and throw him at another survivor? You know, just fucking
What the fuck?
like, you know, like imagine some shit like that. Like that sounds fun, does it not? Does it not sound fun though? Like you don't leave the game, right? But like hypothetically, would that not be the shit? Even as a survivor, I would die laughing, you know?
Head on this.
I called it the kneecap, and basically as a survivor, you could like kneecap the other survivor where they have to like limp around or they're at like 10% less speed or something so that you can get away. I don't know. You can definitely do fun shit with the game, but then you get into like BM and like really truly BM, not just crouching at the other side of a pallet against a killer, you know? But yeah, no, they can definitely get fun with it.
This man said, pick up a survivor and throw him. And they should also make it where if 4 survivors go to a gen, they can pick it up and move the gen to stop 3 gens. You just catch 4 of them carrying that motherfucker.
You just carry it out of the map with you. No, I'm just saying, like, it's definitely possible to like have something that's fun and like not terrible for the survivor. It's possible. I'm not. The problem is I'm not creative. Like, if you wanted me to like come up with something brand new, I can't come up with shit. I can like tell you if something will work or not, but I can't come up with something brand new. But I think it is possible. It's just, I don't know. I hope that they put more effort towards it because that's what I definitely would like to see.
I mean, I don't know, bro. That amazes me with each thing is that they even come up with fucking perks to put in the game. I might have had like 2 good ideas, but y'all won't hear another word from me for the damn fucking rest of the show. I'm done. I'm out. It took me 2 years to come up with those, bro. Jesus.
I think I would be happy if the perks that we do get don't have like these super intricate conditions and cooldowns and things. It's like some of the best perks are like simple, to the point, like straight up. Oh, makes your injury, like, you know, Iron Whale, simple. Enduring, simple. You know, it's not like, oh, when you see the scratch marks left by the obsession and another survivor is cleansing a dual totem for the next 15 seconds, this perk has a cooldown of, you know, 2 minutes. Like,
yeah, I think that's also important from like a new player perspective too. Like, dude, imagine, like, dude, I feel so bad for anyone that's new to DBD right now. They boot up and they look at like all these like the killer powers. Like, look at like Doctor's killer power description, and you're like, Jesus Christ. You look at like all these perks that have like paragraphs, and there's like 50 on each side, and you're just like, I'm just gonna play, I guess. I don't fucking know. Like, there's so much. I have no idea. So I agree, like shit like Bond, you know, you can see survivors within 36 meters. Bam, that's the perk, right?
If they made Bond today, they would make it so that it has a cooldown every time you leave a generator. Like, or it only works like when you've been inside the killer turret's radio for like, you know, 2 minutes. Like, just make them simple. Like, it's so like it feels like everything needs to line up for you as a survivor or as a killer when you use some of these weird perks. Like, you need that for Outdidact. You need to be the person healing. You need to get skill checks, and for the perk to work, you need to get skill checks the next time you heal. And if your self care doesn't work, if you have a medkit doesn't work, like all these conditions, all of these things.
And if it's not snowing outside your house, the skill check won't come. So you got to make sure that you move to Russia and make sure that it's the winter. Yeah, it's fucked. It's fucked.
But the value of like what you gain from using the perk and simplicity should definitely, well, obviously needs to be taken into consideration, because then you have shit like, oh, whoa, sure, it's simple, and it simply gets you fucked if they got a Moraine.
Yeah, I agree. I want to move on to the next thing. We've talking about perks for a hot minute. I want to move on to the new map, which I think is really this map I have a lot to say about. There's a lot. I don't know how much you guys have played it, but it is interesting.
Not enough to have any idea what's going on.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't feel like I like, you go to like laboratory and you could immediately be like, oh, this and that. You go to like Temple of Purgation, you're like, wow, big. Like, is this map too big? Is it too small? Are the loops good? Is the gen up top a problem? Like, I don't know. I generally don't know.
All right, well, I've played it a bit, so I'll give my thoughts and we can discuss a little bit as much as we can. But just to explain, there's a new map. It's the Dead Dog Saloon, which I fucking love that name, by the way. That is awesome.
Yeah.
And it looks sick, for the record. It's like an old west like saloon, and it's like a street. It looks like someone's gonna have like a duel out front. And
It's like the most unique map yet. It doesn't even look like
It definitely looks cool as hell.
Yeah, it looks awesome. But there's a bunch of new stuff on this map. For instance, they added breakable walls to this map. That's the biggest thing I want to talk about, but I'll come back to it. They added breakable walls, which is essentially there's certain walls set up on the map that they always spawn in the same place. It's like in like maze tiles in the shack and in the main building. They're always in the same spot. It's like a wall that it has like two boards that are like colored like the pallets, like they're like blue and red, and you basically have to see those boards to know it's breakable. And you basically walk up and you just kick it like you would kick a pallet. It's like the exact same animation as kicking a pallet. It takes the same amount of time. You could even chainsaw them with Billy to break it. Like it's literally just a pallet that's thrown. But like the survivors obviously can't vault it because it's a wall. They have them set up all over the map. Some of them are in really questionable spots, which I'll get to. But yeah, there's a roughly 6 per map spawn, but it really depends on what tiles you get. And on top of that, the map in general is like kind of big. And I don't know how much you guys have played, but did you guys notice all the fucking grass and shrubbery that was around the outsides of the map? Like there was so much, dude. So much. And that's a big thing I hate. The map is generally pretty big.
It feels a bit like a swamp, maybe, where the edges are like way too good for its own health. Like the edges of the map.
You could completely hide in the bushes. They're pretty ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like Death Garden. I don't know if anybody played Death Garden, but like Death Garden, you could literally like crouch in bushes and you would like be like completely covered. That's essentially like a lot of the bushes are like that. Like I was playing Kill Your Friends with my buddy fucking Math Man, and he was being such a dick. Every single time I'd chase him, he would just like crouch in a bush, and I would be like walking around. He would have to like spam his flashlight, and even while he was spamming his flashlight, I still couldn't see him. I had to like follow the like sound of the click, and eventually like I would come up to a bush, and you just couldn't see him. You just couldn't see him at all. It was ridiculous. And like that, I don't know how I feel about that shit.
I understand that they they're not going to lean towards anybody's play style as far as like what they include, and they're not gonna, they don't want to remove people's fun. And some people, the random couple of gamers out there that like to hide, sure, but damn,
they could be your teammate.
I think it's just overkill. I think there's a big difference between giving people the option to play stealthy, right? Be like, hey, here's some spots on a map that you can maybe hide at. There's a difference between doing that and making it like fucking strong to the point where it's like, yeah, as a killer, if they're hiding, good fucking luck, dick. Like you're not gonna do shit. Like that's not. It should be an option, not like a really, really strong play IMO. And on top of that, a big thing that anyone that plays killer might have noticed is that scratch marks don't show up over top of grass. And there was a lot of grass on that map. So like you'll often find that like if they like stun you with a pallet or something and then they run off into the grass, like you'll like lose vision of them, you'll turn and you'll be like, all right, I can't see them. So like let's look for scratch marks, and there's like barely any because there's just grass everywhere. And you're like trying to follow scratch marks through grass, and it's awful. That didn't used to be a thing when this game first came out. That like got changed during one of the engine updates, like early on, like a year into the game being out. But in general, that's like a really, really, really bad thing that I hate that they did that. Like they need to send a fucking dude out there with a weed whacker or something and clear out some of those fucking.
Would you be okay if they reversed that on the grass? Showed those scratch marks?
Yeah, I would love
that. Because that is very noticeable in many maps.
Yeah, it is.
I agree.
It's noticeable.
Is there like a good argument to not reverse it?
No, I don't know. Like, I think it's kind of something that just kind of went unnoticed. I know I mentioned it like quite a bit over the years, but I've never really made like a big fuss about it. But dude, the game was so much more enjoyable when they showed up over top. Like, you didn't like struggle to track people and shit. Like, if they ran away, you could just see where they ran. There was no like, oh, they ran through a patch of grass, so now I have to fucking like try to search through the grass and see where the hell it is. Like, it's awful. Like, if they reverted that, it would be so good. I would love that.
I mean, the first thing that I can think of with the bush is just FYI is I'm just gonna like meme with it. To be honest, I'm gonna use that generator perk and I'm gonna equip a pebble.
God damn it.
Screw a killer sometimes. I'll be honest. That's what I think about those bushes.
I mean, it will be fun for that kind of shit. I'll be honest. Like that will be fun. I just hope it doesn't get like overwhelming from the killer side to the point where everyone's just sitting in a bush and you're just walking around not doing anything because everyone's just in their own bush and you're just like, fuck.
When hiding like that becomes literally the strongest, like the best option, like the most efficient, that's when I think it's just gross.
Yeah.
Like it's cool for like what Pug just mentioned. That sounds fun as hell. Get that, taking a pebble, they walk, come back. Yep, you're coming back again.
Like you shouldn't feel like you need to check 16 bushes every time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's that kind of what happens in Yamaoka maps, where it's like, dude, I give up. If you're gonna, I just give up. I'm not gonna check and like analyze the pixels in like Photoshop just to see if you're there because it's awful. Like,
and you can already have a stealthier play style just with like natural like tiles and walls and stuff. So it's would it really hurt if they stopped like including so much shit on maps where it really promotes like, let me sit here and you're not going to be able to see me because I'm bloody as hell and it's dark as fuck. Like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I agree that it's definitely problematic and they should be careful of it.
Because that's why I play killer. For the most part, I don't like to sit and not, M1.
Same, fucking same. I was gonna ask you guys how you felt about the map, whether it was killer or survivor sided, but you guys said that you didn't play it much, right? So
I just feel like it's a very weird map. Like I just couldn't get a sense of like everything, all these things you said. Like if it's too big, if it's too small, if the loops are good, if they're gonna be able to run you in a place for too long. I just couldn't grasp it honestly from what I played. Maybe I just didn't play it enough.
From what I noticed, it felt like the main building was very strong. And like it has like a row of like maze tiles that are kind of strong too. But most of the pallets that like exist around like the outsides of the map are pretty shit. Like they're pretty bad. It felt like not quite Hawkins, but pretty close to Hawkins level like pallets. Like they were pretty useless. But like the main buildings were kind of strong. But the main thing about it is I think what makes it hard is the breakable walls. They kind of just change everything. You know what? Like, I actually want to talk about breakable walls. So I don't know if you guys have seen the breakable walls. I think the one that most people saw was the one on Shaq. I don't know if you guys saw that one, but they added a breakable wall right beside the window on Shaq. So basically, you can break out that wall, and then Shaq just becomes like, instead of being like, the same Shaq it's been for years, it becomes like a shitty window and a shitty pallet. And that's like the whole tile.
Is like that how Shack is going to be like that? Because that's a little bit of a bigger Shack, right? Like generally in that corner is a or I don't even know if that's where the wall is. Like that Shack is a bit bigger. Like there generally there's a box on that one side. I don't know. That Shack.
We're trying to figure out if they're going to export this to the regular Shack.
Yeah.
Is that what we're trying to do?
That's not going to be the case, is it? It doesn't seem like it would be. I just feel like that Shack is not even like a normal variation. Like it's just not normal Shack. That was an original Shack.
Nerfing Shack just because personally I feel like a god on a Shack. There's some killers that can kind of pin me down, run me down. But if you get a really good survivor on Shack, man, getting him to blow that god pallet is tough sometimes. So to get a wall and then just be able to, either take him down or use that and then you just, move on. I don't know. Shack's still one of the most strongest items in the game. And if you want to count it as, versus T-walls and jungle gyms and shit.
See, I hate the breakable wall in Shack. I think Shack is like, it's like a masterpiece of one of their tiles. I think it's like the perfect tile. The window is like it's strong. And like as a survivor, you feel powerful there. Like you feel like you have a place of power. But it's not like unplayable strong. It's not like it's like literally no counterplay. Like as a killer, if you do the right thing, you can either get a hit or force a pallet throw and force him to leave. It's like it's honestly been like my favorite tile in the game for years now. As someone that plays both killer and survivor, I love that tile.
Devil's advocate. Would you like to play in a map with 3 Shacks?
Well, yeah, actually, yeah, I would.
As a matter of fact.
I actually would because
I didn't ask you, Pug.
No, but I actually would anyway because honestly, Shack, like the thing I love most about Shack is people are confident in the window. So instead of like forcing pallet drops and then just moving to the next tile, a lot of the times you can like bait them at the window, predict right, and get a hit. and that's big. Like if you're chasing survivors, like the difference between getting a hit and forcing a pallet throw is way different. Like you can force pallet throws over and over and over and over again, but then the chase is still going and gens are still popping all around you. If you can actually like get hits,
that's the point. That's the point. Like they get greedy because the value of that pallet is very high. If there's 3 shags, they can drop it this time safely. They still have 2 left. The problem with shag is that I agree. I think it's like fine. It's not like, oh, nerf the shack, but depending on where it spawns, you all know it. It's just disgusting.
that's a good point.
Like it's like, what is around the shack? Is the shack on random fields a problem? Nobody thinks so. I'm pretty sure. Is the shack in Thompson's house a problem? Oh dear, what can be in there? Like, I think that the nice thing about Breakable Walls is that it gives all killers prep. That is something that only a few killers have right now. If you're a trapper, if you're a hag, if you're maybe Freddy or Demo to some degree, you can go around the map, and if everybody's hiding, you prepare your power. If you're any other killer, you go around the map and you don't find anyone because everybody's hiding. What do? Nothing. It's not interactive. Like the swabbers don't get punished for like stalling. I feel like rewarding the killer, if we're gonna make maps massive, rewarding the killer for spending time going around the map should be good. So the concept of Breakable Walls, even if putting one in the shack is wrong, it seems like a good idea.
Yeah, I think in general, Breakable Walls is good. I just wanted to make it clear that I fucking hate what they did to Shack. I don't want them to fucking destroy my Shack, especially on other maps. But
I don't know. I feel like it's RNG dependent. I feel like the only time I'd be okay with a breakable wall at Shack, I don't care about it on Huntress regardless, but for everybody else, is if Shack is in a place to where it's going to be in a part of a survivor's fucking combo of loops, because I feel like that's where Shack like is really strong, as well as whenever you can go from one loop to Shack to another loop to back to whatever the hell is, things like that. But then there's some maps where Shack's in a place that's on its own and it doesn't have as much value as it nearly does whenever you actually combo it with other shit. And if it's out on its own, then I don't think you should have a breakable wall. If it's near like 2 other loops and they're just going to run whoever the hell around for 100 years, then hopefully it has a breakable wall in that variation, so it doesn't get as much value.
See, that's interesting because I feel like that is one of the biggest problems with Shack is just how it's comboed. So ideally, you just wouldn't spawn strong things near Shack. But I guess hypothetically, like if that's impossible to code or whatever, that would be like a good like way around it. Is like, set values to certain tiles, and if like this strong tile spawns beside Shack, then Shack gets a breakable wall or something like that.
That seems a bit complicated. I think we all agree that Shack itself is fine.
Yeah,
I think we all agree on that. It's not like the biggest deal. It's just that like maybe the next question would be, how strong should breakable walls be for the killer? Should it be a big deal if you let the killer break 3 or 4 of them, or should it just be a minor thing?
I feel like
how big of a deal should it be?
All I see the breakable walls as is like a band-aid for like stupidly good like windows and shit like that, like on Ironworks and Storehouse and Asylum, like it, or maybe not even Asylum. I don't know where the fuck they want to end up even putting something there, but that's all I saw it as. Like that's all I thought it was gonna ever be used for, is to open up spots there. Or maybe, I don't know, like probably some random places on Gas Haven or something.
What I would like to see is, I'll try to use examples for this. I would like to see like the strength of the tile before the wall is broken, right? Like while the wall is still up, the strength of that tile would be like God tier. It would be like Infinite Window and Ironworks, right? Like it would be like practically impossible to catch you, unless you're like really fucking terrible at Survivor or whatever. And then upon breaking the wall, the strength of that tile would turn into I want to use the word fair, and I'm trying to think of a tile that's fair. Like I'm trying to think of like, okay, like if you've ever like looped around like the single pallet maze tiles before they're thrown, and it's like a mind game, right? Like you can definitely get a hit, or like LT walls is a good one. L T walls is a pretty fair tile. I think like after it's kicked, I think the tile should go from a strong tile that like the survivor has got a clear advantage at, to one that's fair. Whereas if the survivor plays it perfectly, they can definitely get away with not getting hit, but the killer has a very equal chance of getting a hit themselves. I think that should be what it becomes after it's kicked.
I don't know if is that even possible to do?
I mean, it sounds possible to. All you got to do is like put
just take the Ironworks window, put a breakable wall, and modify the distance, like make it closer, further, make it closer until it hits that sweet spot.
Yeah,
of like,
I guess so.
Yeah,
I imagine that's how you would go about it.
Okay, here's something I want to ask, because this is something that I feel, and I want to know if you guys agree. I think that the way they implemented Breakable Walls, I fucking hate it. I'm going to be honest. I love the idea of Breakable Walls, and I think it's a really cool idea, but they literally just made them fucking pre-thrown pallets. They, like you literally just walk up and you kick it like you do a pallet. That's all it is. You can chainsaw it with a billy. Like, there's nothing really like special or unique about them. I feel like they could have added like a lot of depth to gameplay. But instead, it's just like you spawn into the map and there's like 6 pre-thrown pallets that you can go kick before you find survivors, basically, right? Like, yeah, the survivors can't vault them, so they're not technically pre-thrown pallets, but you know what I mean? That's essentially what they are. What I would have wanted to see, like, again, this is like crazy tofu thinking that probably has flaws in itself too, but I'm going to throw it out there anyway. What I would have liked to see is like if you, I feel like a lot of you guys have played Friday the 13th. I know Pug did. I played with him a bunch. I don't know if you guys did or not, but the way that you broke down doors in that game would be how I'd love to see that work in this game. Basically, like, there's like a breakable wall. Maybe it takes like 4 seconds to break it, right? And like when you walk up to it, you can hold like spacebar or M1, and a bar slowly fills up, just like it would if you were like repairing a gen, right? But you can cancel it at any time. You can insta cancel it and stop it, and the progress stays, right? So essentially, it adds more depth to the game. Like, if you put one beside like a strong window, you can walk up to it. So like someone vaults the window, you can start to break it to like bait them into leaving, and then stop and then chase them, right? Or you can like 99% it. Like you can break it the whole way to like 99% and then leave it and save it for later. So that way, if someone goes to that tile, it's like a trap almost. You can insta break it, get a hit. You know, I feel like something like that. Like, obviously that probably has some sort of a flaw to it as well that I'm probably not thinking of, but something like that, right? Like something more creative, like something that actually like adds depth to the game and adds like depth to the chases would have been so much more fun, dude. It would have been so much more fun than just pre-thrown pallets everywhere, you know? And I think they really are missing a big opportunity to do that with this. I think this could be something that really spices up the game and really makes it fun and really adds depth, especially for people that like have played a long time. And it sucks seeing it implemented in such a way that's like so boring, I feel like.
I was expecting them to take like 2 hits. Like, you would have to hit it once and it would half break, and then the next normal basic attack that you did on it would like break it. And if you use a chainsaw, like it immediately breaks it or something. And that would have been a bit more cinematic. I don't know. Like, it'd be cool if the wall breaks and the killer just hit. It would be nice. Not so much if he just goes like psh. Okay.
Yeah, or even something like that. I just don't like the like generic pallet break, like just another pallet animation that it has right now. I don't know. I'm not a fan of that at all.
I agree with that.
Definitely just like a quick fix or a quick whatever to add. I mean, I think they did minimal amount of stuff for it.
Yep. I think it was pretty low effort too. I think it was to actually like save them effort, rather than like, reworking the entire tile or whatever the hell else they would have done that would require a lot more.
Yeah.
Do you guys think they can nail this and eventually have them like healthily placed across the maps? Because I was hopeful, but
I wouldn't. That would be ideal.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, even in their current state, the way they are right now, like with the way where they're just like pre-thrown pallets, I still feel like it would be nice to have them on other maps, like especially like maps like Ironworks, right, where that fucking window has existed for 4 fucking years now, and everyone wants it gone. Just add a goddamn door there, and let you actually have some counterplay to that window. Like, it would be good, like that couldn't be a bad thing, as long as they don't like. Again, though, it's scary because it's like they might fuck with good tiles, like they might destroy Shack, or they might fucking destroy LT walls or something, and then you're like, come on, man, we love that tile. Don't fuck with those tiles. We love those tiles, So I would be cool with it being added, but only like very carefully. Like, they would have to be very careful on like where they add it and what they add it to. But yeah,
I agree. And to add on top of that, you should be able to destroy Z walls entirely.
Yeah,
I waste too many games just running around a Z wall.
That's right. There's fucking Z walls, dude. You should be able to just fucking set some.
Pick them up and throw them. Fuck throwing survivors. Just throw them.
Throw the whole Z wall. All right. The last thing I want to talk about, I know we've been going for a while, so we'll do one last topic, and that is the new Sabo and the new toolboxes. They changed Sabo and toolboxes. A brief explanation of what this is. I'll just explain what it is to people that maybe aren't like keeping up. Essentially, they lowered the amount of charges on toolboxes by a lot, and they made it so that Sabo used to be like, it took like, what was it, like 12, 16 seconds or something to Sabo a hook. And when you Saboed a hook, it was down for 3 minutes. And then after 3 minutes, it would respawn. And that's how it works. So you can basically like Sabo some hooks around the map. And if the killer picked someone up, they wouldn't have any hooks or whatever. Or you could like 99% it. And then when a killer starts to come up, then you like, you know, you give it like the final tap and then it breaks or whatever. And it was down for 3 minutes. That's how it used to work. Now, Sabo takes 2.5 seconds. It's way quicker. You could do it less though, because there's less charges on the toolbox, and the hook is down for 30 seconds. So now instead of like it's something that you have to like set up for way in advance, right? Instead of like having to go around and 99 all these hooks and, you know, like do all this setup time and then try to like get rewarded later. Now it's like a spur of the moment thing. Like if someone goes down beside you and they're getting picked up and you're near a hook and you think the killer's going to come, you can just Sabo the hook real quick, you know, and then it drops in the killer's face and they're like, fuck. And it's down for 30 seconds. So they have to like either drop the dude or try to carry him somewhere else. That's essentially what the change is. How do you guys feel? Is this better or worse than old Sabo?
I think the direction is good. Like the fact that like the whole 99ing hooks was weird. The whole hooks being gone for 3 minutes was really, really outdated in my opinion. So the fact that it's more of like a improvisation kind of deal and not like a prepared plan, you have to bring this person. I like that direction. I just think the numbers are a little bit off right now. Like if you are really slow when you carry a survivor, really, really slow, and it only takes 2.5 seconds. Like normal carrying, like on average, it will take like what, 8-10 seconds, and they can do that in 2.5. It seems a bit wrong. Even less than 2.5. It seems a bit wrong. Like I've had people healthy in a hook, and I've hit them, and while I recover from the hit, they can still sabotage.
Yeah, but usually
kind of crazy.
Usually when that happens, you can down the person though.
Yeah,
right?
you can down them, but it's still like. Is that intended? Is it supposed to be that quick? Shouldn't it like reward you for like planning a little bit ahead and not just like tanking hits like a champion?
See, but I feel like that's not really rewarded though, because if you go down, you're not really getting any value out of that. Like, sure, the guy on his shoulder gets released, but then you just end up trading for yourself. You know, like you just like wasted time into some of your toolbox, and then now you're the one that, you know, needs to be, or like you're the one that's gonna get hooked. So I don't really see that as a problem. Like it is a thing, but I don't really see it as like a problem myself.
And then a guy comes with for the people and picks him up.
Oh god, we've come full circle, man. No, but I honestly I like it. I think it's pretty neat. I think it makes it a lot more like it. Like before, Sabo was so fun, but like it took so much effort, dude. Like you'd have to go around and 99 like every hook, and then try to like be near those hooks whenever like a killer picks someone up. Now it's a lot more like, it's like you said, it's a lot more spontaneous. It's like if it happens near you, you could just go do it, and there's no having to set it all up. It's just something you do spur of the moment randomly. And I really don't think it's that strong. It's only 30 seconds that they're down. Like if you get Sabo played on, sometimes you could just drop the guy. Like sometimes you could literally just drop the dude and like leave him slugged and then chase. And then like the hook's gonna be back in 30 seconds. Or there's so many fucking hooks on some maps, you can just carry him to a different one. I can't even tell you the amount of times, like I've had a lot of people in my PTB games that have been like, hey, we're gonna all Sabo. And like usually it just doesn't work. Like generally speaking, like they'll get like 1 or 2 Sabos, but they spend the whole time like setting up for Sabos and no one's doing gens, and they end up just all dying anyway. So I don't know.
I just say make it from like 2.5 to like 3 or 3.5. I think I'm 100% okay with it. Like
I'm all about both sides of it. I think the toolbox part of it, especially recently, I don't know why the devs even told us they were going to nerf toolboxes or make a change, because I've been running toolbox, the commodious one, for like 3 weeks straight now.
Yeah.
And
they really
dude,
gotta.
I'm literally shaving, I would say by myself, a minute off the match. Easy by myself. Especially if I I mean, so first of all, that's a much needed fix. And I like that they're bringing back Sabo. I mean, Otz might have a point where they need to make it a little bit longer. I've got to try it out. But to speak to OhTofu's point, you literally used to have like multiple people doing that 99% thing. If you were solo doing it, dude, trust me, I tried to meme and do that stuff. You're never successful. Or maybe 1 out of 10 times you go to the right hook at the right time. Now there's a little bit more counterplay. I think a thing that you have to worry about with the whole Sabo thing, again, how crazy can SWFs get with this, where they're running just all kinds of like perks where it makes your life a living hell, where you're literally going through a match. And I'm not saying it's any of you three guys, because you guys are high tier killers, but you could really bully people with Sabo, man. Even at high ranks, I think you might be able to bully people with Sabo. And after you get a hook Saboed like 3-4 times in your face, man, dude, I'm just like checking out of the match. I'm just like throwing my headset. I'm like, I'm back later.
See, I don't know if I'm alone here, but like as a killer myself, I would much rather go up against a group of people that are like running around saboing and like fucking around and doing fun shit than people that just like separate and do gens, you know? Like that's if you're a survivor with friends that's able to like bully with Sabo or whatever, you're making a choice of either A, playing the game normally and just doing the gens in 5 seconds and leaving, or B, you're doing the option of like fucking around, trying to go for Sabo, you know, and like, yeah, it might be like, you know, it might feel bad from the killer sometimes to like have like hook Sabo in your face, but the alternative is just to do gens in 5 seconds and leave. And like, I don't know, as a killer, I would rather go against the Sabo myself. I guess it's kind of hard to like.
At least they have to make a sacrifice. They have to either bring an item, and that item is not a medkit anymore, or not a flashlight, or whatever it could be, or they have to bring a perk.
Yeah, and like
that's good. That's good. There's like, you know, it's not like with the old toolbox where you could have a commodious, and that commodious could make you do 2 gens, and you could still have enough to disarm, you know, sabotage 3 traps and still sabotage 5 hooks. It was a bit weird where a single item could do so much.
Yeah, I just feel like in general, I like the interaction between killer and survivor more, and anything that like, I think anything that promotes that, anything that promotes like teamwork and interaction between survivor and killer, I think is always more fun to me. Like I would much rather have survivors like running around going for flashlight saves or going for like Sabo saves, rather than them just being like, oh, someone got down, I'm just gonna stay on this gen and finish this gen because we gotta make sure we get all these gens done because we can't get seen by the killer, we gotta get these gens done. Like that's so much boring. That's so much more boring. I want people to be like surrounding me, trying to flashlight me, trying to toolbox me, because I'm like that, I'm playing the game. I'm like, yeah, let's go. I'm gonna fucking kill your ass. Like, let's do it, you know? It's so much more fun to me. I think it's hard to like, it's hard to get that across to like a new killer though. You know what I mean? I feel like people that are newer to the game, it's hard for them to look at it from that point of view, because I think to them, it's just like, oh, these guys are fucking dicks. They're like dropping hooks in my face and like, you know, like they're very clearly going out of their way to just like fuck with me and they're being assholes. So like I get like the other side. Like I get where people can look at that and be like, oh, it's just bullying. But I don't know, man. I just wish more people like looked at it at that point of view, where you just looked at that kind of thing as like, yeah, this is interaction. It's like my options are either this interaction or them hiding and doing generators. Like the interaction's always more fun. I just wish people would like really realize that. I think.
Yeah, I'm down for anything that promotes actually engaging with the other side.
Yeah.
I think I agree with Pug though. Like I didn't like get too much experience against New Sabo, and haven't really watched like, you know, good people play against good people on both sides, and you know, whatever the hell else. So I'm not really entirely sure yet. But out of the gate, like numbers might need to be adjusted.
I'll tell you this much. It's really not a problem, because I've been playing against it a fuck ton. Put it this way, if you have like general awareness as a killer, you pick someone up and you just like start walking towards a hook. If you see somebody there going for a Sabo, there's so many fucking hooks on a map that you can just turn and go to another one.
I noticed.
You know what I mean?
Even if they got there and they made it, there's usually a hook like fucking behind you around the corner.
Yeah,
just go to that one instead.
And if the entire team, like if your argument is like, oh, well, what if there's someone on that hook? In that case, no one's doing fucking gens.
So you just get to fuck around like that. That sounds fine to me as well.
Then you press the R key and you just walk around fucking smacking people because no one's doing gens. Exactly.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
It really isn't. I know the 2.5 sounds scary and it sounds like intimidating, but playing against it quite a bit, it's been nothing but fun for me. I've just been loving it. Like I love when people.
I think that was very persuasive. Like I buy it. I believe it.
Yep, I agree.
Okay, I agree. All right, fair enough.
Yeah, I also did forget to mention when I was explaining things that they did nerf repairing as well. I only talked about the Sabo, but they also did nerf repairing. Basically, the way toolboxes used to work is they would come with like a ridiculous amount of charges, like 180 or something like that. Like the Commodious had like 180. Each charge is a second worth of use, by the way, on like every item. So it was like 180 seconds like worth of use, and it would like increase your Sabo speed by like a little, or sorry, your repair speed by like a little bit. But like Pug said, if you bring in like a really good toolbox, you can literally shave like a minute off the gens. Like it's crazy. You get them done so fucking fast. And they're changing that now. So now it has a very low amount of charges, but those charges are like a little bit more impactful. So instead of like a lot of charges that increase it by a little bit, it's like a little bit of charges that increase it by like a lot. But it's not like a big, sorry, what's up?
No, I was going to say, I think the Commodious now, when I used it on the test server, if you decide to use it on a gen, even though it's faster, dude, the thing's gone by the time you get a quarter of the way through the gen.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the Commodious, I remember testing it. I'm pretty sure the Commodious gives you the most, and I think it only gives you like a third or half. I can't remember. I know like the purple repair one gives you a quarter of the gen. I think the gray and the yellow ones give you a quarter of the gen. I think you don't get any more than like half of a generator worth of speed. Like it's a very low amount of speed. But like hypothetically, if 4 survivors like jumped on one gen together with like purple toolboxes, they would probably get it done in like 15 seconds. But again, that's like very niche shit. That's like never gonna really be a thing.
And then
like
they would be out. And then they would be out of it. Like,
yeah, exactly. And that sounds fine.
Out of it
and that seems like part of the reason why they made it to where you don't lose your item completely. Whenever whenever it's drained. But that sounds fine. That doesn't sound terrible.
It's definitely an overall.
It sounds like how much does Saboing use off of, like how much does that take off of its durability?
Well,
I think it's like 8, either 6 or 8. So with the brown toolbox, you get like 2.5 Sabos, if I'm not mistaken. I remember that from the top of my head.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really not sure.
Does that seem fair?
That seems okay. Yeah, I'm like, but that's a person's like not doing a gen, so I don't really care what they do.
Yeah, overall though, like I forgot to mention that overall the speed you gain from the toolboxes is like way less. Like like if you would use all 180 charges before compared to like the small amount of charges now, the overall time save is way less now than it was before. I forgot to mention that. So like overall, it is definitely a nerf to toolboxes, just as a heads up. I don't want anyone to be like, oh, the toolboxes go faster, so now it's a buff, because it's not. You get way less like overall time save than you did before.
Yeah, and toolboxes are annoying to play against whenever you're playing in a way that's not like, if I'm not bringing a fucking Ebony Mori, then toolboxes are not that fun to play against. But I mean, realistically, like if the killer's bringing a fucking Mori and whatever the hell else he wants to use, like or iridescent head, and he can actually hit a hatchet, then maybe your toolbox probably should make sure that gen pops, because it's not the most enjoyable thing to play against. So, but like with somebody playing a bit more fair, then toolboxes are annoying as hell. So, but this sounds okay.
We shouldn't, like, I think that's a bit sad though, that we have to talk about balance around Moris. That like we have to, like, do you guys want them gone like now, or
I would rather a Mori be the equivalent of a fatality in Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, I agree.
In like purely cosmetic.
It should be like on Death Hook. I agree.
I think it should be on Death Hook. I think you should still have to pick them up and take them to like an area within a hook though. Because I don't even think you should remove the counterplay of not having to pick that person up again for the last time. I like, because even that's like still in the killer's side, because they don't have to flashlight. There's no risk of body block. They still get to kill that person and avoid like an entire like situation. So, but if you actually literally had to walk within an area of a hook before you could do the mooring on that Death Hook, I would be okay with that. And at that point, like, I think they could even justify like going ahead and adding in different animations, because they definitely shouldn't add in different animations and provide those now, because that would promote people using Moris, and Moris aren't the most like enjoyable thing to play against.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff like that in this game that could use toned down. But again, I think anytime they do something like that, they definitely got to do like the thing from the other side too. Like if they ever touch Moris, they got to make sure they take out something from Survivor, like I don't know, like keys or like like one of those really fucking strong perks or whatever the fuck. Like they definitely got to do like. I think that's really important going forward with the behavior, that anytime they make a big game-breaking change on one side, they need to do like an equivalent on the other side. Otherwise, it's just gonna be fucking miserable,
Yeah, or just something needs to change to help counteract like how good whatever it is. I agree.
Yeah, I agree too. I think we're about wrapping up. I think we pretty much covered everything. Or is there any you guys got any final thoughts on the PTB?
I think overall a good job. It was fun, and I'm hopeful. Like I think it could go really well.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think this is one of my favorite PTBs we've had in a very long time. Like the entire patch, outside of like a couple minor things, is really fucking exciting. Like I haven't been actually like excited for a DLC like this in quite a while, honestly.
Yeah, I think that the new killer and everything else that's happened. I don't think one side is like being focused on more. I think it's pretty enjoyable for both sides with everything that's changed. Like the new killer isn't just obviously like he's not Oni fucking baloney coming out smacking everybody and spinning, and he's seems pretty decent and fair. And everything else does too.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time I was this excited for probably like a killer DLC wise, and I haven't even played them yet. And dude, I haven't played so many killers. Like I haven't touched Plague, even though I know Ghostface is really cool. I haven't touched Freddy after the rework Oni. When this guy comes out, I'm gonna play as him first day for sure. You know, not the whole time. I'm definitely gonna be more survivor sided, but yeah, I'm really looking forward to him. I think they did an outstanding job on the killer, and then you just take it from there.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you guys so much for joining me though. Anybody that might be watching this, every single person on this cast right now are some of my favorite content creators on DVD. They're all fucking fantastic, and you guys should definitely check them out. I don't know if on my Twitch chat that I'm live on right now, if my mods want to give links in chat, just spam them if you guys want. And if you guys are watching this on YouTube, I'll have a bunch of links below as well. These guys are all fantastic content creators, like literally some of my favorites. So please check them out. If you guys aren't, go follow them, go check out their shit. It'll definitely be worth it. And thank you guys for joining. I think that's gonna be it for the podcast, so we could all say goodbye and go chill and go do some other shit with our days.
No, thanks for having me, dude.
Thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, for sure.
It was a
Take care,
pleasure.
guys.
See ya.
See you guys.
That's
Later,
it.
guys.
Take care, guys. See you later. See you.